What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm here. My guy Mano's here.
Mano.
Okay, and as promised, Mayor Eric Adams is back in the building.
I feel like it's my birthday with Mano's around.
Hey, man. You know,
like $1 million bucks.
Good to see you, man. Been a minute.
Yes, and let me tell you, this brother is so authentic. There was a issue around drill rappers, where the music wasn't the issue. It was the fighting online that was turning into loss of lives.
I remember you were saying the videos.
Exactly.
Right.
And Mano hit me and he says, Eric, listen, I want to bring drill rappers to City Hall. And we met that night.
That's a fact.
He brought a whole crew of brothers that night, rolled up in there.
Right.
The security was like, wait, what's going on? I said, y'all got to fall back.
That's a fact.
They had you getting sturdy?
No, I wanted them to have an opportunity to talk to the mayor, because if we're going to have a conversation, a real conversation about drill rap, then it needed to be with real drill rap artists.
Right.
So that we could hear both sides.
So everybody could see what the other side's
so you
concerned.
understand what drill rap
right,
is, what it comes from, what the energy is, what the feeling, what the loss and the pain is. So, we set it up and we had a good meeting.
It was great. And what it was is that the media was making it appear as though that here it is, you have a mayor that listened to rap, is attacking drill rappers, but when Mano brought us, everybody in the room, they started to say, wait a minute, that's not what was reported.
Right.
And that is what is happening to us, man. People are like in the middle of our family conversations, and we got to do that. Cats like you that has that street credibility, and you say, I can hit Eric anytime.
Right.
You need to, I know that's a lot to drop on your shoulders, but we need brothers like you to say, let's get everybody in the room. We should be handling our business and not allowing other people to handle our business.
We should. I believe that. We should be able to get in the room, do dinners and really talk about things in a real way.
Right.
And what I would say, because you'll get criticism for being out and about, but I also, on the flip side of that, always tell people, at least you can hit up the mayor, run into him, stop and talk to him. Absolutely. Even if you want to say something crazy, he's still going to...
There's an accessibility that we didn't have before.
Right.
That I like.
Right.
And
even the way you use, your show, sister, and what you've always done in the community, where you do the juice bar, just being on the ground. So what people don't realize, being a mayor, what my goal is. And people think there's just like one goal. No, it's not one goal. I'm an urban mayor, and I need people to know that you can be your authentic self. I don't have to all of a sudden walk around and act like, I can't do this. I can't hang out on Fulton Street, because I'm the mayor now. No, I'm trying to break these models. Now, if I just broke those models and didn't produce, then people would say, well, you can't produce. No, I inherited a city that employment was black unemployment was 4 times the level of white unemployment. Crime was soaring. No jobs wanted to come here. Independent financial experts did not want to invest in our city. Our children wasn't learning. 2 years later, more jobs we have now, brother, in the history of the city. Black unemployment has been cut in half for the first time since 2019. Is under 8%. We're outpacing the state in reading and writing with our children in school. Double-digit decrease in homicides, shootings. The independent financial experts that look at cities and say, should you invest in them? They raise my standard, my bond ratings, and say, this guy's managing the hell out of the city.
It's interesting, all of those things, because when you inherited this city, it was COVID. And so people, they were like, no, everyone was leaving. Right. And I remember real estate-wise, that would have been a great time because people were getting the most amazing deals back then. But I always felt like New York is always going to be a place that people are going to come to. At that time, maybe people felt like this is the end of the world. They couldn't see what was going to happen. But even in the midst of all that, for some reason, it's not connecting in some situations, right? Like they'll talk about approval ratings and they'll say the approval ratings are really low. But then when you can look at the numbers, like you said, with crime being down the way that it is, with unemployment being down, all of those things happening, with small businesses getting the support that they haven't gotten before.
Small Business Opportunity Fund. Right.
I was just at Gracie Mansion. Mayor Eric Adams actually had an event that was there. What was that event called? It was sponsored by your MWBE office.
Right. Michael Gardner. We're putting billions of dollars in MWBE. We certified 1,900 businesses. And I just opened Gracie to young Black and brown entrepreneurs, so they can connect with everyone.
It was a party. I didn't expect that.
Right. You went,
You know what I'm saying? And the energy was just like unbelievable. And we're gonna do more of them, but the move is people were angry, man. When you got 194,000 migrants and asylum seekers that came into the city. You know, folks were like saying, "Yo, well, what about us, Eric?"
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So all that anger came out of nowhere, but people didn't realize that. Listen, brother, I can't stop these buses from coming in. Man, the federal law is telling me you have no choice. You know, I can't give people work authorization. I can't give people, the opportunity they deserve. And so, if you don't look through the weeds, you automatically say, "Well, Eric is, he's giving everything, the whole city away." It's like, man, what's wrong with you?
Well, let's address these headlines.
Because that's some of the sentiment.
Yeah.
Right. But people feeling like, oh man, the migrants coming and get more than we are.
Right.
Right. So how do you address that?
Well, first, I'll never forget when we got the first flow of migrants that came in. I took a bus one night over to when we opened a tent up on Randall's Island. I took the bus because only one bus goes over to Randall's, and there's a homeless shelter there. And the brother stopped me. He's like, man, you giving these migrants everything. You gave them that tent, and I'm here in this shelter. I said, brother, you ain't gotta stay in there. I said, come on over here, man. You can sleep in this tent on this cot, in this outside bathroom, in this outside shower. And he walked over and saw it. He was like, yo, I'm going back into my spot. You know what I'm saying? So people bought the headlines and not realizing they sold them a bill of goods, man. And you go back, Mano, and you look at, okay, he hangs out all the time. He dresses too fancy. He can't manage your system. Not Eric Adams, David Dinkins. That's the same thing they said about David Dinkins.
Right, our first Black mayor.
Right. Read what they did to David, and then now look at...
It's the same. They're trying to apply the same
They want to make it seem like we can't manage complex cities. I'm managing the hell out of this city.
One of the things that you said that was interesting, because I hear some of these things. It was that you inherited the city like this. So do you feel like people are giving you more flack for the things that you already inherited?
Right.
Like some of the problems that was already here.
What's the interesting? That's a great question. What people don't realize, we inherited a mess, and we didn't sit back and say, okay, woe is us. No, I came in and I said, we're going to turn the city around. And people say, well, you're doing it in 5 years. Brother, we did it in 2 years. 2 years. You do an analysis of what I did in the most complex, biggest city in the country. If not the globe. 8.3 million, 8.3 million people. People didn't think I can do it. They didn't think this urban, CUNY, dyslexic mayor was going to be able to come in and turn around. What they didn't understand is that we've come from hard time. Mommy worked 3 jobs. So hard work means nothing to me, man. Mommy worked in the day, she then did afternoon, and then she did the late night shift.
Right.
So working hard means nothing to me, And I knew if you just come in with the right team of people that were committed, we turned this city around.
It's going to be interesting because even later on, there's a lot of things that are in the works now that aren't going to come to fruition for years.
Right.
And so we don't know who at that point or how long it's going to take, but we do know there's a lot of developments that are in progress right now when it does come to affordable housing.
Right.
And when it does come to building up the Marine in Brooklyn, which is going to be really exciting for people in Red Hook. My brother lives right there.
Right.
And what you've been doing in Hunts Point, what you've been doing in Willets Point in Queens, there's going to be a soccer stadium, the first stadium that's dedicated just for soccer, but alongside housing as well. So there's a lot of different projects that are in the works, and I want to make sure we discuss that today because sometimes people want to see things immediately and not recognizing, look, we're starting this. It's a long negotiation period, and then after that, you have to develop these things. So let's talk about what we do have in the works.
I love that.
There's some solutions.
I love that. And what we like to call ourselves the finishers. We've had major projects that continue to die. New York City had become the graveyard where good ideas died. And we came in and we said, listen, man, we're going to move these projects forward. They've been trying to develop Woodlands Point since I was a kid watching the Mets. We finally going to develop that whole area. 2,500 units of affordable housing, a brand new soccer stadium that's privately funded, 100% affordable housing, a new school, parks,
a hotel.
I think it's
Where's this at?
In Woodlands Point, where Shea Stadium is.
Oh, right, okay.
Where all those
Right.
abandoned cars were.
That's right.
They've been trying to fix that for years. They've never been a project that size in over 40 years. And what you were just talking about, the Brooklyn Marine Terminal, we just announced yesterday with the governor, we're going to change that into, we're going to still use port use, but you're going to build housing along the waterfront. We're going to get the community engaged. And these projects are going to turn around faster than people think.
Right.
Then we did the Kingsburg Armory, man. That place is a dream. They've been trying to fix this for the longest. We came up.
And that's in the Bronx.
Right, in the Bronx. Put the money involved, got Congressman Espillard engaged to move it forward. Kips Bay, what we're doing there about life sciences. So all of these projects that people have been trying to do, Governor's Island, we've been able to land the plane and
Staten
get them
Island.
done. Staten Island. You know, we're developing that entire waterfront that's there, houses, thousands of units of housing. My sister Camilla Hanks, who's a council person, they're blown away. People said, listen, this man has been on Staten Island talking to people, engaging with people, not leaving any borough behind. The Bronx, the Staten Island, our community. But the real story is what I always knew. You lift up Brownsville, you can lift up the city.
Right.
And
can we lift Brownsville
brother,
up?
what's happening in
Ooh,
Brownsville?
and in Brownsville, East New York.
It's turning around.
It's
Turning
amazing.
around, turning around. You're seeing decreasing crime.
Right.
You're seeing employment. We did our first jobs effort in Brownsville, rolling out in Brownsville. We're going into the crevices, man.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know,
One question that me and you talked about it before. How are we doing with police police
my man
presence?
may know.
Yeah, how we doing with the police in the hood, man? Like the interaction with the police in the hood. There was a thing with it, where people
we're saying stop and frisk was back.
Frisk and stuff like that. Where we at with that right now?
When I fought against stop and frisk, and I love it when people who were not around during the difficult times. You know, I cut my teeth on testifying in federal court about stop and frisk. The judge ruled against the police department and cited my testimony on why she ruled. We fought with 100 Blacks in law enforcement. We were seeing almost 1 million stops a year of black and brown people. The numbers now are down to like 16,000. Because we said you're not stopping everybody that you see. You're going to have precision policing and have a reason. So if someone calls you, if someone is in your block and you say, listen, hey, Popo, so-and-so is standing in front of my door and I see a butt of the gun. Imagine that cop saying, I'm not going to go and question that guy. You know, so we were abusing it. Now you're using the tool and not abuse the tool. We went from almost 1 million stops down to 16,000. That's a significant a decrease. And we still got to get better. We got to make sure that we are not, because there are those that are going to abuse it too, no matter what profession you're in. But you got to have the systems in place to identify those who are not suitable to be cops, number one. Number two, we got to start recruiting some of these young brothers, man. They're smart. They're intelligent. You see some of these young brothers and sisters coming on the force now. They are not only doing the policing, in their off hours, they're volunteering. They're starting organizations. They're doing prom dresses giveaway. They're like some of the stuff you've done with some of our cops. They're doing feedings. They're doing baby showers, to give young parents, the items that they need because they came from that abusive era.
It should be community policing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Way more of that.
Yeah, even when you go to marches and you see the police there and they're just interacting in a friendly manner.
Yes.
Right.
Those things are important. I know a lot of the police. I've done. I did a run.
They love you.
Yeah.
And Angela, you date like.
Don't say that publicly. No, but I do try to make sure that we have like good interactions.
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to talk about is the police academy because I saw that there's going to be a different type of training that's happening now. So can you discuss what's happening with the police academy?
Phil Banks, I did, Deputy Mayor Phil Banks. He was the former chief of department, and he told me last year, he says, Eric, we should be training everyone on a law enforcement campus, Department of Correction, probation, New York City Police Department. Instead of separating and making one group feel they're better than the other, one campus where they're all learning from each other. How do we collaborate together, and how do we utilize information together?
It's like a Montessori police academy.
Right, and what it is, it was a brilliant idea on his part, and we're going to kick it off, and it's just going to just create a better synergy that we're not going to have, a caste system of policing, that the police is best, probation is no good, correction is no good. No. It was all public safety, and all needs to be treated accountable. And hats off to him. He gave me the idea, and we're going to move forward with it.
And then as far as mental health awareness and mental health programming,
I'm glad you brought that up.
I know that's something big that right now we're talking about budgets for that and trying to figure out with some transparency what's happening with that, because like we always say, we want to make sure that people don't end up going to jail that should be getting treatment, and we want to do preventative things, and that's always important.
Well said. Here's the issue. This is what happened, and a lot of people don't want to deal with. Advocates advocated to close psychiatric wards. This was years ago. Because of what happened in many psychiatric wards, the behavior was abusive, not proper care, people were left unkept. So they all advocated to close down the wards. People were sent out without the support system, so they went in the streets. Some people are dealing with severe mental health issues, and they can't take care of themselves. Right. Now you have them in the streets, and we see them on the street, ambulances call, we take them to the hospital, give them medication a day, they go back to the streets until they do something like punch someone in the face.
Now it's criminal.
Right. Then once they commit a crime, what do? We send them to Rikers. Brother, 54% of the people at Rikers Island have mental health issues. 54%. So we close the psych wards, but what do we do?
And then keep the jails open.
We turn the psych ward into Rikers.
That's right. You put everybody there.
Right. So we should be.
There's a difference.
Right. What this city should do, and this is what I'm calling for them to do, and I want the city council to understand it, we should open a state-of-the-art quality psychiatric facility. When will you do aromatherapy? Will you give people meditation? Will you get people to eat right? Will you identify, building community? But we could create a psychiatric ward that we don't have to go to the extreme. But the extreme can be abusing people, and then the other extreme is throwing them on the streets and put them in Rikers. Let's find that medium.
Okay.
Let's sit down.
Let's invest in some healthcare professionals who that's what they do.
Right.
And we have facilities that are available that treat them like human beings that can actually help with that situation. Indeed. So you're not sending people back in the street.
Exactly. And you know how many people have loved ones and family members in their family that are going through severe mental health issues, and they will call up, and there's no real place to give them the care.
Right. No one wants to have to call the cops for that, because you get too scared.
Right. It should be
left.
a set of people, like an agency that you can call.
And they do have a lot of nonprofits that do that.
And not just the cops, because the cops are not trained to deal with mental health, right? They don't know how to.
They're trained, but believe it or not, that uniform could trigger it off. That people see the police and all of a sudden they could get agitated. Right. That's why you want a civilian population to do this, but you need a facility. Some people need long-term care. It can't be something that you're in for a day, get medicine and stabilize. No, you got to.
You have nowhere where they can go.
Exactly.
So are we waiting for a city council to say, okay, this is the budget that we have for something like this? Is this something possible as a solution?
Here's what's going on. We have to close Rikers Island, the law said by 2027, and build 4 more jails, one in each borough except for Staten Island. It's when you close the Rikers, the population that to fill those 4 jails, you're 2,000 short. So 2,000 people you don't have a place for. And what I'm asking the city council to consider, let's take one of those jails, and instead of building another jail, let's build a state-of-the-art facility.
Because proportionately, so many people do need help that are in Rikers
probably
Island.
More than 2,000 inmates
50%,
that actually,
brother.
this is what I'm saying, that actually mental issues.
Right. And so I think we could build something we could all be proud of, where if a person it's not a crime to have a severe mental health issue.
Right.
It's a crime not to give them what they need during that difficult time. And you know, I'm pretty sure we all seeing it. A lot of our young folks, man, coming through COVID, man, COVID took something out of a lot of people.
It definitely did.
Because we talked about this before, like, and even with the drill rap thing. What are we doing for these young kids that are 11, 12, coming from our communities and may not be coming from the best, home situations? Father might be dead or locked up, mother on drugs, and they looking to get into gangs. Like, what are the preventative measures that we're taking, to not have them fall victim to the gang and violence?
So important. And it's so interesting. I'm reading 50 Cent's book right now. He talking about losing his mother, from his mother was slinging, and then when she got killed, he went out, and how that traumatized him. A lot of our young people are traumatized.
That's a fact.
And we have to identify that trauma. We need to give them the assistance that they need. And hats off to Commissioner Howard over at DYCD. We have been having these conversations with young people. We pour more money into our summer rising program to get year-round program. We've been really leaning into foster care children. We know 600 to 700 of them age out every year. We know the problems that they have without support. We're paying college tuition now for all of our foster care children that desire, and giving them a stipend. And they're enrolling into college at a higher level. We're also doing justice involved. Young people, justice involved. We're putting them on an employment path. Because if we don't go after them, as you said, if we don't start early, we got to
start early, because they need outlets. Because I was that. Like I was, my father was on drugs. My mother was trying to figure it out. We was delving into crime very early.
Right.
So it's always about, what can you do early for me?
That's right.
These
preventative,
outlets.
I think.
Preventative, right?
It's so important. The programs, and also investing in programs that already exist, who are already
but they got to be
doing the work.
effective.
Yeah.
Right.
We got to be effective. What has been happening is that poverty has become too profitable for people, and we've been just pouring money into programs of people just saying they have a program. Like, what's your effective turnaround? This brother on Rikers Island, when I got baptized on Rikers Island with the inmates a couple of months ago, is through this. There's a brother there. His organization is called Fatherless No More. Or my girl, what's her name?
Erica Ford?
No, Camilla's wife. Oh, she's going to kill me. Camilla Anthony's. Lala. Sorry, Lala. But Lala has been doing this program on Rikers Island that a lot of people don't even know about.
Yeah. No, we've had her up here to talk about
that.
Yeah,
we talked about that,
But that's where our money should be going.
Right, I just went up there because I was there. I spent so much time there in the Ford building. So we trying to figure out what more I could be doing, because my voice is different, because I was really there.
Right.
Yeah.
I really turned 18 there. I was really a predicate. I was really getting in trouble. I was really catching new charges there.
Right.
I really went up north from there. So I'm trying to figure out what more I can do in that area to kind of give them some incentive, some motivation, because these kids every one of them is not going up north for 15, 20 years. Some of them are coming out.
That's right, brother.
And what are you going to do when you get out? Because you got a whole nother shot to change the trajectory of your life.
So what we need, we don't need folks that don't have that narrative to be talking about how you're going to be saving people who are there. I need folks like you and Lala and the brother from Fatherless No More to say, here's the program. Because we're spending millions of dollars, man. We were spending like $13 million. We're spending millions of dollars. You going up there just using your sweat equity.
Right.
But no, why aren't we allocating resources to a program that you're aware of where you could train young soldiers to go in that have gone through the system, can go in and help these brothers don't continue to go through the system. Because brothers don't want to keep going through this evolving door system.
Right.
Brother.
And even coming home and not being able to find work, not being able to find housing.
Not knowing what to do.
Right.
Not having it's the outlets. It's the information.
Right.
It's not knowing what to do with themselves. It's trying to figure it out. So we always caught up in this whirlwind of what we should do and what we need to do because we're hungry.
That's right. And you know what? Listen, man, people got to eat.
That's a fact.
They're gonna do what they
This
have
is
to
what
do
I'm
to
saying.
eat, man. You know,
And
people
it
say
always
whatever they
come
want.
back to that.
Right. People say whatever
I
they
gotta
want.
do what I gotta do.
Right.
Well, you know what? Y'all know what else? Who else got to do what they got to do to eat?
Yeah.
Rats.
Rats.
And I want to talk about
Goddamn rats. Some of these rats, man.
and I want to talk about this rat summit that
Yeah.
you're doing. This is the first time something like this has happened. So is this like a party and convention for rats? Or what is this thinking behind?
Listen, I hate rats.
Me too. I think we all do.
Right.
All kinds of them.
Right.
Yeah.
But the move is, we identified, got a Catherine Karate, who's my rat czar. We identified the
Rat
problem
czar.
with
That's how bad it is.
Right.
Yeah, we needed her.
But
though.
we have a decrease citywide in rat complaints. We have a decrease in rat mitigation areas. We have large rat issues. We knew that the problem is containerizing our garbage. As long as you have those stupid ass plastic bags on the street,
Yeah.
I buy the mint ones because they supposedly don't like the.
that's
yeah.
candy to rats.
Okay.
So first we containerized all of our food service businesses. Then we went to containerize our chain stores. Now we can containerize 1 to 9 apartments. In the next few months, we're going to have complete containerization in the city. People said it was going to take 5 years. I said, like hell it is. We're going to do it in about two years, in 6-7 months. But we're going to be other cities. I was just in Rome, and they're like, plastic bags. What's wrong with y'all?
What do they do?
It does feel crazy when
Because nobody else got rat problems like we do.
Let me tell y'all something. One reason I love the fact that I am no longer doing morning radio is because in the morning, them rats roam free. When it's dark out,
I know.
there's
Trust
not a lot
me.
of traffic.
Coming out the studio at 5 in the morning, it's like a
Listen,
parade.
I make a lot of noise when I come outside because I'm like, I need them to scatter.
Right,
I know
right.
I'm here. Yeah.
And and what's deep, like people was saying, well, why do you focus on this rat issue?
It's a big
Nothing can traumatize your life more. Imagine early in the morning you lift up your toilet seat and you see Ben popping his head out.
No.
You would never.
This is one.
you
Yeah,
would
it's a
never
fact.
Go in that bathroom and give it out.
Not the
thinking
same
about
way.
Ben.
You're never going back in there the same way. Every light on in the house is coming on before you go to that bathroom. You making noise. You hitting shit. You got your broom.
I
Like
really
it's
would be
crazy.
like, I'm coming, y'all. I'm
Yeah,
outside.
playing
I'm
music,
loud.
like
Yeah.
everything. Like what?
No. So that's why we zero in. It's a quality of life issue. City has to be clean, and you want to enjoy your community, and we're really getting there, man.
Is it working though? Like it's less rats.
Yep. The complaints are down.
I will say I haven't seen.
Right,
It hasn't
right.
been
Yeah.
as bad.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
I don't know
Because
what it's
even
gonna
on
be
the
like
block-
in the summer, but it's definitely something that I appreciate. Like
Yeah.
Right.
I hired a rat. I am not mad at it at all. Like
I
let's-
was saying that I'll be in Lower East Side on Clinton Street, and I'm talking they got a real rat problem downtown. I must have seen 75 rats under this bin one day. But lately, I'm like, man, I ain't been seeing that many rats.
Right.
Don't jinx us.
No.
Yeah, don't jinx
Like,
us. Don't
might be
jinx us.
speaking too soon.
And
Walk
so,
outside.
cats rolled on me and said, rats have right too. What are you doing? They have a right to live. I said, they could live in your crib.
Nobody said that.
Nobody said that. I don't
Nobody
believe.
said
Somebody
Go
said
Google.
that.
Go Google.
How do you see? That's the thing.
Okay, now
How
that's
do you
ridiculous.
deal with that? Everybody has a perspective.
listen.
Everybody has an argument. Everybody feels like their way. Why you
Well,
don't
that's
do this?
New York.
How
That's
you-
why we have.
right.
I think you have to know that comes with the job,
Right.
right?
Yeah. How you manage that? How you manage that though?
8.3 million people, 35 million opinions.
What did you? Is it what you expected? Let me ask you this: like,
I love that. That's a great question.
This what you thought it would be like becoming mayor? Because you were Brooklyn Borough president,
Yeah.
and police department sergeant, all of that.
Yeah.
But then becoming the mayor is a whole different beast.
Of the most important city on the globe.
Yeah, the
But,
most-
we need to really
Yeah.
understand that.
Yes.
And let me tell you something. Mommy said to me when she was alive, she said, baby, you spent 35 years to do what you're about to do. Don't get to the top of the mountain and complain about the view.
That's right.
No matter what happens, the city of New York could never say the number 110 without saying Eric was the mayor. And there are days when, it's challenging. But I know a billion people would love to trade places to me.
Right.
I'm able to impact the lives of people. This city has abandoned people in general, but specifically black and brown people. And I can make these changes. I'm not going to change everything in my time as mayor, but you're going to see a different city. And knowing that the stuff I'm putting in the pipeline and the stuff I'm dressing now that is going to impact us. And so folks like my mom that had to do those 3 jobs, that their lives are going to be different, So every day I wake up and, when I wake up, I meditate, I pray, do my breathing exercises. I thank God, God allowed me, think about, brother, this is all gravy right now, brother. Think about where you were
what you've been
and
through.
where you are right now, man.
Yeah. When you look at it like that, it looks all easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna have days that's, man, it's
very
trying, but at the
challenging.
end of the day, we know what we've been through.
Right.
And it gives us the incentive to keep pushing.
Without a doubt.
And then other leaders also have the same problems. Now, when you went to Rome, because you brought that up earlier,
Yes.
and so there were certain things that they're doing when they're handling like what's happening with migrants there, and you
Yes.
were praising some of the systems that they have in place. So
Right.
what were some things that you bring back?
Biggest thing was that you coming from all over the continent, particularly a lot of brothers are coming from Africa, West Africa, and other parts, that in 2 months they're teaching you Italian and they're putting you on a pathway for employment. Here you could be waiting for 2 years. It is unfathomable to me that people are saying that it's realistic for someone to wait a year, 2 years to work. That just doesn't make any sense. Now, I tell people all the time that, people talk about people from South America, Central America, from West Africa. We have a Ukrainian population that's also migrants and asylum seekers. We don't even hear about them because they're able to work.
Yeah.
So if you could work from Ukraine, why can't you work from Ecuador?
It's
from
people
West
of
Africa?
color that they have the biggest issue with. I always say that too, because that's not the only people that are here that are trying to get citizenship. And
all over.
They're from all over. And you know what else I wanted to ask you about? So we got to clear this up, the swimming situation. So Mano said he's a great swimmer. He's willing to be a lifeguard if necessary. I don't know how to swim. I'm from Brooklyn.
Yeah, we're going to get some lessons, though.
But I want to clarify that because that was a bigger statement that was at a press conference, and that kind of goes along with the lines of what you're talking about right now. But it became a huge headline, and people asking you this question, like, what did you mean when you said, they said it was racist, but I want you now to give context.
First of all, I ignore all that noise in the sentence police. They, the bottom line is there's a body of people who sit out there every day. They're in the Eric Haters cheering session that no matter what I say, they're going to try to blow it up. Look, when I have been making it clear over and over again that there are jobs that are open, and if you look at the whole comment I made, I said we have people who are migrants and asylum seekers who are healthcare professional nurses. We need nurses. We have people who are food service workers. We need food service workers. We have a shortage in lifeguards. We have those who know how to swim. When I go to my hercs, like when we hold people, and because I'm saying to myself, what jobs we out here? How many of you are swimmers? Hands go up. I need lifeguards.
Right.
We don't have beaches hours of being shortened because we don't have lifeguards. So we have people who are capable of swimming, and we don't even want to hire them because they can't work. Now, people say, well, you talk about South Americans automatically swimming. No, fool. We got people from West Africa. What's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? They wanted to turn their little minds, turn it into, you talking about South America. No, I got populations coming from West Africa. I got populations coming from Ecuador. Now, what's interesting, everyone who's complaining about it, have they been to the Darien Gap? I have. Have they been to Ecuador to see what people are going through? Have they been to Colombia? I have. So get off the sidelines and stop playing the word police and get your ass down here and solve these problems. So if I get caught up on everyone that say, well, you know what, we don't like the way Eric said the sentence, I won't get any work done, brother. I'm an authentic urban mayor. And there's never going to be another mayor that's going to be afraid to be authentic again because they saw how successful I have been.
You know what I wanted to ask you too?
Yes.
A couple of years ago, we were talking about cryptocurrency, and that was such a big deal. And it hasn't been in the conversation so much lately, but we see how Bitcoin has rebounded. And the future of that after people were very nervous about it. And I remember at one point you were going to take your salary for a month or however long it was in cryptocurrency. So what do you think about New York City and the future of crypto?
Well, well, I don't know who said the song, but how you like me now? You know what I'm saying? I took my first 3 paychecks in crypto. People were laughing at me. Oh, yeah, where's your money now? I said, let's see.
It'll come back.
Right. Now look at how it has recovered. I think the scandal around some of these crypto incidents caused people to have some trepidation, but it has bounced back. My investment looks very well. And I think that people, like it or not, crypto, blockchain, and others is going to be part of our society. Listen, we transitioned through the years. At one time, we were just trading one cow to your cow. Then we went to another form of currency. Then we went to the gold bars.
Right.
You know, currency has transformed. It's not going to always stay here.
Right.
People are going to go to cyber wallets. In some part of Central America,
You use your finger.
Right.
To pay for stuff.
They use point systems. There's going to be different forms of payment. And it's not comfortable for a lot of people, but it's the reality. But my investment in crypto turned out to be a W.
And you know what? Speaking of money, casinos. You know, there's been talk about different locations for casinos in New York, and can't let you get out of here without discussing like what's going on with these talks. I know, of course, with with local communities, some people don't want that, they don't like that, and then some people are all for it, obviously.
Right.
So I believe there were 3 different locations in Manhattan that they were talking about.
Actually, in the city, there's a place in the Bronx, Bally's. There's a place in Midtown Manhattan.
I know Hudson Yards,
Hudson
Times
Yards,
Square, by the UN.
Times Square. There's a couple of different locations. Queens is another location, Willis Point. So now they're going through the process of deciding where. Many people don't know I was the chair of racing and gaming for the state of New York. I was the first black chair of racing and gaming.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And casinos bring jobs, tourism. It's a real economic boost. Anyone that's familiar with they're doing out in Queens at AEG spot, Genton spot, they're a whole lot of jobs. They changed they get ready to build housing on Aqueduct. Aqueduct was almost a wasteland, you know.
Yep.
And so wherever it goes, it's going to be an economic boost. I just wanted one place in New York. We get 2 in New York. I'm happy for it. It's going to go through the process, local involvement, but we need to get it done.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's a lot. And I know you're going to be back.
No.
Because every day there's a new. I was saying up here before you got here, I was like, Mayor Eric Adams is the most talked about mayor nationally. I would say.
He outside.
Right.
Yeah.
You going to see him on the news, or you going to see him outside?
And listen, people need to know his son is a rapper, too.
real.
His son is
Yeah,
outside
definitely.
also.
Yeah, Jay, he goes under the name J.O. And he's bringing like his own creativity. He's doing a movie with rap inside the movie, you know.
Mano acts.
Yeah, you know. I asked him the other day. I said, listen, Jordan, you getting older. When you get married? He said, after you get married.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I feel you.
I like that. Yeah.
And now you can say after you and Mano.
That's for real. We all trying to figure it out. We trying to figure it out daily. For real, man. Are you the one? You never know, man.
Well, we could do a reality show.
You still doing your podcast?
I'm not doing that one no more. I'm doing this almost every day with her, and I got another one that I'm working on. It's called Back Talk.
Back of the back.
Back Talk.
We did it, man. He had
definitely.
He had eats.
Yeah, I fed you good.
He had a
For real.
little
Yeah.
Henny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We had a good time though.
My gosh.
Yeah.
DJ and I went down to Florida with
Oh, you did Drink Champs, yeah?
Oh, yeah, Drink Champs. I
Yeah.
saw that. Nori actually hit me, too. I was in L.A., and I was supposed to film myself asking you a question, but I was running around and didn't get a chance.
Well, Mano live in Jersey, too. It's not the same. He's not in New York anymore.
You got to stop. This ain't got nothing to do with L.A. and Miami. You got to stop.
I live in Brooklyn.
I'm Brooklyn all day, baby. You just got back there. You just got back there, baby. Stop playing with me. For real.
But again, thank you so
Always.
much.
Love you.
We appreciate you.
Nah, definitely.